It's a pop music quiz, everybody. Two men in history of the Billboard charts have had both the number one song and the number one album for 7 consecutive weeks, 7 weeks in a row. It's happening right now for one of them. Who do you think it is? Ready? Place your bets. Have you placed them? Okay, here's the surprise. It's this guy.
Just hold on, we're going home. Just hold on, we're going home. It's hard to do these things alone. Just hold on, we're going home.
Drake is the man of the moment, although it seems like this moment has been going on. By the way, Michael Jackson did the same thing back in '83 with Billie Jean and the album Thriller. Now it's Drake's turn with One Dance off his album Views. Stephen, I know. What's
It's just so crazy to me to think that Views could be on the same list with Thriller. Isn't that just bizarre?
But the way that they've measured it is different, right? It's like back in the day, it was all based on sales. Now you get to include streaming, which I think is a sign of the times because you need to include streaming. That's how people listen to music. But it's not just based on album sales, because if it was, he wouldn't be number one.
Right. I mean, to me, it's just bizarre. I mean, because they're kind of opposites in a way. Like Michael Jackson was a musical genius that was destroyed by celebrity culture. You know, he was just, he had this, like, you know, the hook to Billie Jean came to him one day while he was walking down the street. And then, you know, slowly celebrity culture, you know, annihilated him. Whereas Drake is like totally at home in celebrity culture. A true master at it. And I think that's actually his real gift. And the music, you know, as people say, like, he doesn't produce any masterpieces. He just produces a lot of great songs. And so, like, they're kind of opposites. Like, Michael Jackson produced one of the greatest albums of all time. I've heard that his performance around Thriller, there was one particular one that, you know, several people were at that said it was the greatest single performance of all time. And then celebrity culture, and Drake's like the opposite, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, I think I wouldn't go so far to say that Drake is never going to create a masterpiece. I think he has all of the ingredients necessary. I think his production team is amazing. I think he's built an incredible support system. He's changed the entire game of R&B. Like, he's completely changed the genre, and that cannot be taken away from him. I think he's on his way to live in legend status, but you're right. He's a master at this marketing game. Yeah. He is so good at it. He does feel at home in celebrity culture in so many ways. He has all of the branding down completely. And I think, you know, Views is not my favorite album at all. But I think the fact that he was able to create enough hits off of it and create enough of a momentum around who he is through the videos, through meme culture, through knowing what it is that gets people sparked, I think it's an incredible moment. I don't think it's terrible. I don't think he's the next Michael Jackson, because I don't think there ever will be a Michael Jackson. He was very unique. There's still no grown men fainting and crying over Drake. And so until he gets to that point, I don't think we can have that conversation in the way that people were fainting and crying over Michael Jackson. But I think he's doing something incredible and has been doing something incredible. He's completely changed the musical landscape, and you have to give him credit for that.
Yeah, absolutely. Although it is my secret hope that The Weeknd becomes the new Michael Jackson.
Yeah. Well, he certainly sounds the same.
So, not the same.
Stephen, you referenced Drake in your piece this week in The Guardian, reflecting about your shared hometown, Toronto.
Yeah.
And Emily, you know,
not my hometown.
Okay, not your home. Your adopted hometown.
Live,
okay. Oh, whoa. Okay. But is Drake more Toronto than The Weeknd? More Toronto than the Jays?
I don't know what that even means anymore. I really don't.
To Emily's point, she identifies Toronto with The Weeknd more than Drake, I think is what you're saying.
No.
She was saying connecting to Michael Jackson.
Yeah, to Michael Jackson.
I see,
yeah,
okay.
Yeah. I definitely personally prefer The Weeknd to Drake as a musician. That's absolutely true. But I feel like one of the things that I do really appreciate about Drake in his like fancy meme factory that he seems to have is how great he's made Toronto seem to everyone. Like,
yeah, he loves the place.
Like, bigging us up. It's awesome.
Yeah.
All right. You're okay with this city, Stephen?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Just checking. I approve.
And he gave us the name The Six. Like,
Yeah,
it's
Not
literally
Steven.
like
Drake.
No, sorry, Drake.
Nobody actually uses the 6.
No, people do, and it's also literally on your TV screen in the right-hand corner.
But whenever they use it, it's always used kind of ironically. Like, no one ever says, "Hey,
that's a generational gap right
I was in Montreal. I'm going back to the 6." No one would ever say
No,
that.
that's
without
people
that
do
being.
definitely say it. It's a
I say it
generation
for real.
thing happening
I don't know.
right now.
It was sort of like T-Dot. Like, it was
No,
almost
T-Dot
there
was
for
always
a while.
silly.
T-Dot is still used to this day. Literally, I was at the Maxwell
see?
concert
Well, I would
last
say
night,
that-
and he said, like, his whole band kept being like, "We're in the T-Dot," or should we say The Six? Like, it's
The
still
Six.
Ironic quotation.
That was
That's
ironic.
what I'm talking about.
They're also older.
All right. This debate continues. Thank you to all three of you.